Reddit, what's the funniest thing that a random stranger said to you that made you die laughing inside? Watched a guy walking to class at my college years ago saying "get the FK out of my way" to a pigeon standing in his path. The pigeon quickly waddled off to the side. When I was around 10, my dad took my brother and me to a Sox game at Fenway. We get to the park and I was putting mustard on a hot dog from one of those mustard box push-down nozzle things. This random guy next to me goes, "Yeah buddy, lather that bitch up." 10-year-old me thought it was about the funniest thing I'd ever heard, and I still chuckle when I think about it as an adult. I was at a 50th wedding anniversary party and there were lots of elderly people in attendance. An old man was standing next to me and said, "It looks like a Afghan graveyard in here." I literally spit my beer out. We were outdoors. The kicker was the guy was close to the same age as everyone else. Once had a guy walk past me, point at my shoes and say, "I have those shoes, only mine are completely different," and he just kept on walking. Years ago when queuing up for movie tickets with my family, the attendant asked the ages of our 4 kids to see if they could all get children-priced tickets. I announced their ages, 7, 9, 11 and 13. Without missing a beat, the stranger behind us declared, "That's an odd group." Just the other day checking out at the Cracker Barrel, the older gentleman ringing my wife up accidentally said, with all confidence, "Have a thank you." An old man on the street with a big, jack-o'-lantern grin on his face and 2 chihuahuas under each arm loudly proclaiming to no one in particular, "I used to carry grenades, now I carry dogs." I was at a gas station filling my truck with gas and overheard a guy yelling at his dog to move over in the car so his wife could get in. It went like this: "Man to dog, come on, get in the middle so mommy can get in." Dog starts yiping back at him as if she's arguing. "Man to dog, quit arguing me, I told you to get in the middle, you don't always get your way." Dog again yiping back at him. "Man to dog, if I have to tell you again you're not getting your jerky." Holds up a stick of beef jerky. Dog yiping while reluctantly moving to the middle. Man to dog, "Okay, promise no more arguing me and you'll be a good girl." Dog yiping again. Man to dog, "Okay, seal it with a kiss." Dog gives man kiss. Sit had me dying. Something I overheard as 2 kids walked past our caravan park site. A rumbling boom of distant thunder. Kid 1, "I like thunder. It sounds like a 200-year-old dog who's retired and helps old people who are blind to get around." Kid 2, "Silence." Kid 1, "You know." Kid 2, "But why is it retired?" Kid 1, "Because it's old." Kid 2, "But it's still helping blind people." Kid 1, "Silence." I was in a large college seminar, so I never knew the people that I was sitting next to. This professor was known for being a bit of a dick, constantly switching up assignment due dates and tacking on extra work and/or additional material to upcoming exams last minute. Professor did something dickish like the above and murmurs of disapproval and annoyance spread through the aisles. The dude next to me leans into my chair and says to me, "This is a load of barnacles," in the same voice as the fish guy from SpongeBob that says the line. It was just perfect and unexpected. I'm in the bathroom at work washing my hands and one of the professors that I don't think I've ever actually spoken to comes in and starts washing her lanyard in the sink. I try to make small talk with work people even though I suck at it, so I try to strike up a conversation that goes down as follows: "Morning, UGGHHH. I spilled coffee on my lanyard and now it's all sticky, blah." That's the worst. At this point she turns off the faucet and looks at me completely deadpan with eyes that said she wanted to feed me my own innards and said, "I think genocide is worse." So I awkwardly mumbled "Okay, behave a nice day," and quickly escaped. It's turned into a running joke in my office now though. Anything from the printer being out of toner to a fire drill on a cold day is literally worse than genocide. A few years ago I let my friend cut my hair. It did not go well. I was living in Philadelphia at the time and was walking through South Philly when I passed 2 strangers in the middle of the conversation. As I pass, one of them says to the other, "Hold up, I gotta talk to this guy." He proceeds to shout to me, "Yo, your hair looks like sit. Come over here." I was amused, partially because of his bluntness and partially because he wasn't wrong. I was curious, so I walked over to him. He says, "Look, A buddy of mine owns a barber shop 2 blocks away. Here's his business card. I'll write my name on there. If you mention that I sent you, he'll give you a good deal, bro. But seriously, take care of that sit. I never ended up going to his friend's shop, but I frequently use this story as the perfect example of Philly culture. Rude, blunt and in your face, yet somehow coming from a place of genuine care. Plus, it's f***ing hilarious. I used to be a smoker. One time a scruffy looking man asked me for a light. I told him I only had matches. It was very windy. He said, "That's okay. There's a trick to it. You light the match and then suck down real hard. You get a mouthful of sulfur that way. But you gotta have a trick when you're going 30 miles an hour on top of a tank." The college I attend frequently has local elementary and middle school kids on tours, especially on Fridays. One particular Friday I was in line for the cafeteria when a group of kids came walking by with a tour guide. One kinda chubby little dude looked a bit uncomfortable. He was biting his lip a little, and sweating. This part of the tour is usually when they have a bathroom break, and clearly Buddy needed to go. At this point I should note that the bathrooms are visible from where we're standing, but the tour guide, a fellow student of mine, didn't seem to notice. She just kept going on and on, talking about the history of the building. I watched this kid go from nervous, to deeply anxious, to visibly clenching over a span of about 3 minutes. He's staring at the stick-figure dude on the men's bathroom sign as if it was the risen Christ. Ms. Tour Guide takes a break in her spiel. I figure she's done. The next words out of her mouth will be ones to free this boy from the purgatory that is having to use the bathroom on a school trip. It'll be over. He'll be free. What followed, instead, was this. So in 1995, a professor named ABC Kalamazoo moved lady. I'm gonna sit my ass. He ran past her to the bathroom, and presumably destroyed it. Poor guy had the entire line in tears with laughter though. Worked at a smoke shop that sold electronic cigarettes years ago. A customer came in complaining that the new flavor made her pee smell funny. I couldn't keep a straight face when I said I wasn't sure if that was related. Then she says, "Oh, well, it could be an STD or something, I guess. Thanks," and walked out. Little girl to me after I explain my service dog helps me when I'm sick. "Oh, so he's your dog?" Tour me, trying to keep a straight face. "Yes, exactly. I was doing tech support over the phone for an internet company at a call center. I got a call from an elderly woman, because her internet stopped working. After checking remotely that the modem was working and that there was no issues on her area, I was scheduling a visit from one of our technicians when she suddenly says, "Oh, I know what happened. The cat was playing around the router yesterday." "Right. You think it took a cable or something?" "No. He probably took away the Wi-Fi." "You mean like he moved the router?" "No. He probably took the airwaves of the Wi-Fi. You know how cats see things we can't. He surely saved the Wi-Fi signal, grabbed it and took it away." It took all my willpower to not laugh in her face and finish the call. May of 2000, passing through Norwood, Louisiana with a friend. At around 2 in the afternoon we stopped to gas up, grab some snacks at the most potent gas station known to man. A young man, extremely agitated, comes in with frustrated gestures, and angrily shouts gestures at the cashier with an accent that is beyond region, beyond stereotyping, beyond anything I have heard before. Where doggone damed Wally Melian's at the top of lungs, approaching hysteria and tears. Met a guy while camping a few years ago. He told us, matter-of-factly, that he was a redneck hippie back in the 60s. He was there for the sex and the drugs, but not so much that love and peace. We still crack up about that. Okay, the laughter was not entirely inside, but years ago on the subway in NY, a crazy dude walks on the train and screams at everyone, "You're all going to hell," and then steps off as the doors close. Total silence as the weirdness of the moment settles in. Then, without missing a beat, guy across from me goes, "Sit." I thought this train was going to Harlem. Entire subway car of cynical New Yorkers bursts out laughing. No so much said to me as overheard. Walking down the street with my fiancée after dinner, a man and woman pass us. Very clearly I heard the man say, "And that's the second time I got crabs." I just keep a special little comb at the house now, just in case. I'm not sure of any particulars and have thought about that interaction often. So many questions. I know they heard me laugh though. I work in retail, and I'm not sure why, but this had me dying for a while. I still laugh when I think about it. Me, "How you doing today, sir?" Customer, "Yeah," and he went on his way. Someone called me, said piece of pizza in a Mexican accent and hung up. In college, this one girl in the front of the room chimes in on something, and mentioned that her eyes change color during the summer every year from blue to green. This black dude in the back of the class whispers to his friend, "Yeah bitch," and I turn white in winter. I had to remove myself immediately before I made a scene from laughing so hard. I was rollerblading down a hill too fast, and landed on my ass. Painful, sure, but not excruciatingly so. An old man walked by and said in the most jolly voice, "Is your behind okay, young lady?" I was shaking of laughter. My behind was okay, yes. I have a 5.5-pound chihuahua. He's about as intimidating as a bunny rabbit. I was walking him on the grass along the road. A couple of walkers were coming near me and my dog started barking at them, so I picked him up. The guy says, "Thank you for picking him up. We were really scared." Man, I respect women. I would never ever hit a woman, but I'd cut a bitch up. Homeless man. I ain't gay. I've never let a man blow me, but I'd blow him for money. Same homeless man. He's my hero. At a festival and sitting around the campfire when a very intoxicated man kept saying, "I need to borrow your fireplace." He wouldn't let it go, despite being right by the fire. Turns out he needed a lighter for his cigarette and was so drunk that he forgot what it was called. My laughter was not internal. I died laughing right in front of him. I was seated in a crowded New York subway car when the guy standing in front of me passed gas. It was intense. The man sitting next to me held his nose, and said, "How now, brown cow?" I, white F, used to work at a public library. A black guy asked if we had Diary of a Whippy White Boy, also known as Diary of a Whippy Kid. Racial tensions were high in this neighborhood, so it felt extra good to laugh with him. A fine young gentleman was once introduced to me as Big Dick Kyle.